was at a local Loblaws in the queue to pay, and the person behind me got too close. I requested that he back up to allow for social distancing, and he stated, "Shut up and go back to where you came from." A man in his 50s.
While walking on the streets in Kitsilano, Vancouver, a Caucasian man in his 30s said to me and my daughter, "Every day, I pray that you people die." A woman in her 60s.
You may not know it, but new viruses are emerging all the time. This happens in different parts of the world. The virus that causes COVID-19 emerged in China in 2019. Unfortunately, the fact about where it emerged became an excuse to lay blame. Some people just made up lies about why the virus exists. They spread these lies, directing them at people just because they have an Asian background. This lying, this disinformation stirred up prejudices that some people were already holding inside. The combination of already existing prejudices and lies has led to a huge increase in assaults against people of Asian descent. These are hate crimes. They are motivated entirely by racism, and they are against the law. We spoke to the Chinese-Canadian National Council for Social Justice to find out more about what is happening here in Canada.
The Vancouver Police Department reported that anti-Chinese racism rose by 878% in 2020 as compared to 2019. Online incident reporting tools have collected over 700 cases during this time across Canada. The majority of incidents happened in public spaces, and the victims were mostly women. There have been incidents reported from coast to coast. An 80-year-old woman was physically assaulted in Pembroke, Ontario. A woman was spat on by a passing cyclist in Calgary, Alberta. A teenage boy was assaulted and blamed for the virus in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. These are just a few examples. For all the incidents received, there are many more that went unreported.
These sort of incidences are a lot more common with the pandemic, but sadly, they're not entirely new. There is a long history in Canada of discrimination and prejudice against Asian Canadians embedded right into our policies and laws. For instance, when the Canadian government wanted to slow down Chinese immigration to Canada in the 1880s, they charged immigrants so much money that many couldn't afford to come. It was called a head tax, and it applied only to Chinese people.
Systemic racism and historical discrimination against people of Asian descent in North America has roots going back to the very founding of this country. Like the Chinese head tax of the 1880s, the Discriminatory Immigration Act of the 1920s, and the prejudice experienced by people of Asian descent that started long before the coronavirus pandemic began. History has shown that people of Asian descent are viewed as perpetual foreigners who are loyal to their home countries. Even after living in Canada for generations, people of Asian descent are made to feel like outsiders and held responsible for things that happen in another country. So fast forward to 2020, and we can see how all of these ideas contribute to the rise in anti-Asian racism during the pandemic.
Anti-Asian prejudice is a huge problem, and it may feel like there's nothing you can do to fight it. But that's not true. There are some things you can do.
First, it's important to make sure you're educated on the issues, both historically and in the present. Make sure you're learning from varied and reputable sources. Secondly, take time to do some self-reflection. Analyze any biases you may have towards different groups of people and ask yourself, where did those ideas come from? How do I know that they are true? And if they aren't, how can I work to unlearn these? Third, make sure to be critical about your information sources. Are they reliable and factual? Fourth, be an ally to Asian communities. We are made up of many cultures, languages, and religions, and it starts with learning about our stories. If you are of Asian descent yourself, get to know about different cultures as well. Finally, stay safe, be calm, and call out and challenge racism when you can.
Every little bit helps. Together, we can stop the spread of disinformation. Check out the other videos in this series to learn more about the dangers of disinformation.